Hi, my name is Samantha Bos, and I'm with the University of Texas at Austin. Today, I'm here with Project STAIR to talk about the distributive property. Move my head a little bit. Distributive property. So first, let's define the distributive property. When we're talking about the distributive property, it is important to note that you can split, i.e. decompose, factors into two or more parts, and then we can multiply each of those parts by the other factors and add the results. So let's look at an example here. I'm going to grab my marker. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let's break up this multiplication problem 4 times 9. I'm going to divide this array, which shows me 4 by 9, into two separate rectangles. Specifically, I'm going to look at 4 by 5, or 4 times 5, and 4 times 4. So let me go ahead and draw a line here. And that divided it pretty well. Let me block off this array. That's close enough. Y'all see what I'm talking about. And this is my 4 by 5 rectangle. And then here is my 4 by 4. And if students are confused by this, you can have them count the units to see that this is in fact 4 multiplied by 5. And this is 4 multiplied by 4. So now maybe it's easier for me to solve 4 times 5 and then add on 4 times 4. So I know that 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times 4 is 16, which is easier for me to see and maybe add in my head. Now I can add together my 20 and 16, and my final answer is 36. I can also double check my work by looking at the original array and making sure that 4 by 9, or 4 times 9, is 36. So I can go ahead and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on and so forth until I show that there are 36 units in this array. I'm going to clean up my board real fast, and then we'll continue talking a little bit more about the distributive property. So now that we've seen the distributive property at work, let's talk about some strategies and activities that you can use to teach students about the distributive property. So first, just as I demonstrated on the previous slide, it can be really helpful for students to have the opportunity to divide arrays into two parts and practice finding the area of each part, summing those areas together and seeing that the total match the area of the original rectangle. Additional activities include building a garden activity. And what this will look like is you will supply students with several sheets of 1 centimeter grid paper or color tiles to represent a small garden that will be planted with 2 different kinds of vegetables. You can assign a pair of students or individual student a garden-sized plot such as 6 by 8. And those garden sizes, or the products, can vary across student groups to differentiate for different student levels. Ask students to find all of the different ways to make a single slice to cut through the garden to divide the plot for the 2 different vegetables. For each slice, students write an equation. For example, if your product was 6, or your garden was 6 by 8, then you can have them write 5 by 8 plus 1 by 8. Once the students are comfortable with the distributive property with multiplication of number factors, replace one factor with a variable. For example, 6x equals 5x plus 1x, and eventually 6x equals 5x plus x. For additional practice problems, check out the Khan Academy's lesson practice on the distributive property. There are so many helpful virtual manipulatives that can be used to help students divide arrays. In addition, real or virtual algebra tiles are a useful tool to help students build algebraic reasoning skills. I have set up an array here showing 3 by 5, but once students master multiplication with numbers, I can add the variable bars to represent other multiplication problems, such as 2x plus 1 times x plus 5. Please note when using these manipulatives that the yellow unit blocks are positive constants and the long green tiles are positive variables. We will provide links to the Khan Academy practice problems and virtual manipulatives in the description of the video below. Be sure to check them out. Thank you so much for joining me here today to talk about the distributive property and ways that we can teach the concept using grid paper and manipulatives. I hope that you will check out our website and YouTube channel where we have a variety of videos and resources to help teach mathematics. Thanks, and I hope to see you soon.